New reports tonight that President Trump's legal team is weighing options for a possible interview between the president and special counsel Robert Mueller. And Bruce Orr, the man removed from the investigation, has now been let go from his final last remaining post at the DOJ. There is so much to cover in this story tonight. Here now, House Oversight Committee Chairman Trey Gowdy, who also sits on the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, great to see you as always. Thank you for being here tonight. So I wanted to get through a few of these, and I know this one has just come to our attention. This has just been reported by The Hill, and it has to do with two people I know you're very interested in terms of learning more about Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, who were involved in the investigation and then were removed from it. This article in The Hill suggests that their text messages that have just been released suggest that they may have been leaking stories to different newspapers. That's sort of what we see here. He says in this one, she says the article is out, but hidden behind paywall, so can't read it. He responds, WSJ? Question mark. Boy, that was fast. Should I find it? In quotes, and tell the team. Just going through this initially, but your thoughts as you hear that.
Well, one of the lines of questioning that we have for the FBI agents we've talked to so far is who within the Bureau is authorized to talk to the media, because I can't speak for the Clinton investigation, but I can tell you with respect to the investigation into the Trump campaign, we have serious concerns about people with the Bureau talking to various media outlets that weren't authorized to speak on behalf of the Bureau. So I'd love to tell you I'm surprised that someone at the FBI may have been leaking, but I'm not. I
mean, James Comey admitted under oath and testimony that he did the exact same thing.
He did when he wanted to spur special counsel for Trump. When Loretta Lynch told him to call it a matter, not an investigation, we didn't hear a peep out of him.
Yeah, very true. Your committee now has the Fusion GPS financial documents that you've been wanting for some time. Have you had a chance to go through them?
I have not, but one of the investigators has. And, you know, Martha, I think it is so bitterly ironic to me that Fusion GPS wanted us to rely on quintuple hearsay from Russian sources that nobody knows. They wanted us to base a presidential vote on that, but they went to court to keep us from finding out who paid them and who they were paying. So thankfully, the court ruled the right way. It wasn't even a close question. We've got the documents, and we're going to know who they paid and who paid them.
Yeah, and they, as you say, they very much did not want you to have that information.
Very
I know
much.
that you can't divulge anything from all that. It's still, under your investigation. So we'll keep on top of that as we go forward. In terms of Steve Bannon, all that's come out in this Michael Wolff book and his suggestions about potentially treasonous behavior as part of the meeting that happened in June of 2016 at Trump Tower, are you going to want to speak with him as part of this?
Yes, ma'am. Treason's a really big word. In fact, it's the only crime I'm aware of for which you can be put to death without actually taking a life during the commission of the crime. So I really can't think of a more serious word than treason. And if you're going to allege that somebody committed a treasonous act and you weren't even on the campaign at the time that meeting took place, then, yeah, I'm going to want to ask you some questions about it.
In terms of the president's potential sit-down with Robert Mueller, is that an interview that you expect will happen in real time? They'll sit face-to-face? Do you think it's going to be on video or in submitted questions? What's your estimation?
Submitted questions is not a great way to exchange information. There is no substitute, Martha, for what you and I are doing right now. Examination, cross-examination, testing, probing. That's what happens in courtrooms all across America. It's good enough for all the rest of us. If President Trump is going to be interviewed by Bob Mueller or by an FBI agent, there is no substitute for a sit-down, eyeball to eyeball, where you can judge demeanor and voice inflection. There's no question about what the question was or what the answer was. That's the single best way to exchange information.
Before I let you go, you made some pretty strong statements about Adam Schiff, your counterpart on the Intel Committee, saying that he had jumped to conclusions on Trump collusion with Russia when he hadn't even looked at any of the evidence yet, and that you think he's using that position for political purposes to leverage a Senate run in California. Do you stand by that statement?
I only wish I had said more. Yeah, all of that is true. Adam prejudged this investigation before we interviewed the first witness, and he's been on television more than you have this year, Martha. So, yeah, everything I said was true, and I probably could have added something to it.
Congressman Trey Gowdy, our thanks to you for being here tonight. Always good to see you, sir. We'll see you soon.
You too.